back for another reaction video. Today we are going to be Damn. Let's pretend like I didn't have a voice crack over there. All right? Let's pretend that nothing happened. Damn. As soon as the video starts, dude, that's crazy. I didn't have that one. Whatever. Today we are reacting to the TikToker that went homeless in New York City. I don't know who the hell this is. I just found a random video that I wanted to react to, and I was like, shit, you know, this looks nice. I need to stop swearing. I do need to stop swearing, dog. I really do. However, with that being said, New York City is a very, very, very tough place to live in if you don't have money, if you are not already well off, or if you didn't live there or were born there from before or whatever. New York City is tough, bro. Just going outside costs like $100. Just breathing costs money, it seems like, in New York City, bro. For me, it feels like it is the most money-consuming, expensive city to live in the world. It's just and it's rat infested. Like, it's dirty. Like, I love New York. I ain't never been there. You know, I'm a Knicks fan at the end of the day. But I don't know why it's so expensive, dog. And if anybody wants to move to New York, just make sure you got a little bit of bread, bro. Just make sure you got a little bit of money. You're well off, so that you might not end up like him. Now, did he really go broke? I don't know. Let's see what happened, man. Let's get into it.
Who in here had a foot job before? Have you had a foot job?
That's how we gonna start off,
Gio. He's a TikToker.
Sorry, y'all. It's a little bit too loud. Let's go down to like 50. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Damn, this is a little bit too loud today. What the hell?
Until we try.
Bro, what is it with foot jobs, bro?
But not just a TikToker, he's a viral TikToker, but also an underground TikToker. He's part of that scene. He also has a clothing brand, so I was surprised that he has a weird obsession with feet. But I'm not here to talk about that. Well, I am, but not just that. You see, Gio has gone homeless, and I mean seriously homeless. However, before I talk about Gio, I just want to say YouTube has done me wrong. I did drop a video on DJ Academics, but not only did I receive a warning on my channel, my video got removed for violating child safety guidelines. Ain't that some stuff? So if you want to see
if y'all know, y'all know.
Watching the video all the way through and liking, if you're a real one. But like I was saying, Gio is a viral TikToker and a clothing brand owner, and this made me think, how did this nigga go homeless?
How did you go broke?
So that's what I wanted to talk about today. How this young man with a following and a clothing brand is homeless, but just how social media has fried the youth. But first things first, let's address the elephant in the room. This nigga is a pretty successful TikToker. He has over 130,000 followers, and now I'm not privy to the TikTok bag as a YouTuber, but you're telling me he's not getting a decent bag from TikTok? Now I know this video isn't about pocket watching, but
it is for me.
I guess I'm gonna be a pocket investigator for a little bit. You see, y'all gotta understand, if this nigga went homeless, we gotta figure out where he went wrong. Bro's averaging good viewage, minimum 100K a video with a few outliers, but you're telling me TikTok.
All the foot job stuff aside, because I'm not trying to talk about that. My theory into this, and you know, I do be yapping a lot, but my theory into this is that I think he's doing all this shit for content. Bro, I've been saying this. People will do whatever it takes to get recognized, and when they do eventually get there, some people want to hold on to that shit like it's crazy. I'm talking about people like him. Bro, you made it. You know what I mean? You don't have to keep doing, like, I feel like for me, this is off of content. I don't think he's actually homeless. If you're getting consistent views, like, if y'all look at his views, he is getting consistent views. Damn, I can't even talk today. But getting these type of views means you do get a good amount of money. And I'm pretty sure you can't go homeless with this kind of money, my nigga. Like, come on, G.
TikTok bag isn't good enough with that type of audience. To be fair though, if you watch his TikToks, they're pretty short. And I know with YouTube, you can maximize the bag when the videos are longer. So that could play into his lack of bag. But I mean, TikTok ain't his only revenue though. So let's take a look at the IG. And on here, he hasn't monetized his main Instagram, but he does have a clothing brand, like I said. And after some not so extensive research, I've discovered this brand has every item but the Grip Reaper shirt sold out. So in other words, he made a little bit of bread from that. But also there's a chance this nigga just can't restock, especially now that he's homeless. So maybe it's safer to assume all the money he got from clothes has probably dried up. But I mean, when you see a TikToker who's also apparently homeless roaming the New York streets, I guess the money drying up was the only possible reason for this. Now let's actually talk about streaming, because why the fuck is streaming the first option instead of employment? And trust me, the topic of employment comes a lot during this whole series. But let's just get to it.
Told y'all I was gonna do it. Booked the one way out to New York. But one thing though, I gotta handle right now.
Supplies.
Bro, my Geek Bar is on 0. This shit cooked, bro. I gotta go grab one, and I only got about $25 to my name. Literally. So, no food for me, nigga.
You can't tell me this ain't content, nigga. This is good content too. People fall for this kind of stuff thinking that, yo, this man is serious. And, you know, if y'all do keep catching me looking at this screen, it's because I got my OBS stuff here. I'm just making sure everything is nice. But, dog, I'll be honest with you. This is good content. This shit will keep you relevant, but not forever. So, you got to make the most out of it. But at the same time, when people do say, you know, you're selling your soul or whatever, that's kind of what they mean. Not literally like selling your soul or whatever, but I'm pretty sure this is more so like him trying to stay as relevant as possible while doing the craziest shit as possible. For example, not buying food and buying this shit. Like, come on, G.
Okay, so this nigga goes homeless, and his first idea is to go to New York. And I'm not a New York hater, but dude, New York guys be tweaking. You know how many songs that consist of dissing deceased people come from New York? A staggering
Crazy,
amount. So
crazy.
why would you want to go to a place like that? And I guess I understand, because he's part of the underground scene, and a lot of underground people be in New York for the fashion and the modeling gigs. And then the culture itself isn't actually bad.
Y'all notice anything different?
You know, I am joking, obviously, but I think spending that much money was pretty reckless, especially if bro only had $25 to his name after. I think the worst thing that came out of bro's mouth is the fact that he said he wants to get a new Geek Bar. Vapes are destroying the youth. Some kids in my generation are truly addicted to flavored air manufactured in foreign sweatshops. Gio is killing his brain cells, quite literally. Or maybe he already lost them, considering he moved out to New York immediately after he went homeless. Speaking of fashion though, he did confirm he had model shoots, which is free bread. And also, he said his objective was to spit at some shorties, which is kind of crazy, because my nigga, your priorities are fried.
For real,
You
though.
get a little bit of bread from the shoots, but you need to get a crib before you start spitting. But clearly, a homeless TikToker isn't going to listen to that type of advice.
Yo. How old is you in the pink? How old are you? You said.
What's wrong with these
Oh
niggas?
shit! Oh fuck! Oh shit! Shot, no. Yo, they yelling at me, bro. Fuck. Yo, Sammy, bro. Fuck.
Oh, they're filming.
They're filming me? Oh, what's going on right here? I don't know.
I thought you were with them.
Call me a nigga. Call me a nigga.
Bro, you talk to 14-year-olds.
What the fuck is she still doing here? Yo, go with your friends. Yo, that's straight racist, dog. She called me a whole nigga.
Alright, this was insane. Not only does this nigga shoot while homeless, he was taking shots at. Now, in my opinion, that little girl looked like a. I'm not gonna say he's weird or nothing, because he left after finding out her age, but if you gonna shoot in public, you gotta have some good
because he
discernment.
is
I think
weird,
he's
bro.
so
This
crazy
is my
'cause-
thing, right? If you gotta ask the age, if you have to ask the age of a chick you're interested in, right? Rule number one: Don't approach anybody that you might have to ask the age of. Bro, if you are unsure of how old that person is, dip. It ain't like you're not your meat ain't going crazy. Like it's not that important, my nigga. Like, yo, you're not gonna die if you don't get coochie tonight. if you have to ask the age, leave, dip, bro. It ain't worth it. Now, mind you, sorry, damn, I'll be burping a lot today. Mind you, I know what this guy's doing, bro. This is all for clips. This is all for clips, dog. Sad,
Them
bro.
girls followed him, which, you know, I'm happy because, you know, they're trying to stand up for themselves, but this whole situation is goofy. He went homeless, and his first idea is to fight a New York stream and then spit at girls. And then not only that, you've angered a group of them who are now recording you and speaking very fast Spanish, and I was cringing. It was a hard watch, but I guess it was silly. After this whole little debacle, this nigga starts playing handball or something. And I know I was this in New York, but I want to take a minute to shout out the guys that, you know, showed a little bit of hospitality. You know, they let him use the ball, play around a little bit. And I just love seeing kindness being spread to the homeless. It really warms my heart. Well, my heart was getting warm until he immediately went to the smoke shop to cop some nicotine. And once again, priorities, my nigga. How are you homeless and dropping bread on geek bars? But actually though, hold on. This might sound crazy, but there was something that was worse than copping a geek bar while homeless.
What?
How old are you? You are very beautiful.
You're so nice. 50.
50? You look like not a day over 30. Man.
Gang, are you serious? Niggas is this deep in the trenches. They taking shots of hell. And I kind of get it because I've been in the trenches before, but niggas spitting at a clearly 30 to 40-year-old woman. This is demonic. I'm not gonna lie. This is a level of depravity that I just can't fathom, but it only gets worse. He started searching for happy endings. And if you're not familiar with happy endings, I don't want to say do your research, but
Don't do your research. Don't do the research. Don't.
Massage place? Okay. Like, do y'all do?
Dog, people just want to spend a day working without dealing with goofy niggas like you. Like, if we being honest, bro, there's some hardworking people out there that just want to go to work, you know, do their thing and dip and go home to their family, chill out. All you little, what's it called, IRL streamers walking around and being degenerates. It's not cool, bro. Like, somebody has to tell you niggas, it's not cool. I don't want to have to be it. And I know, I actually don't know, but y'all might not see this, but like, come on, G. We don't have to resort to this. You're not like down bad like that. You could have gotten a job where you lived at. Instead, you chose to go to New York, holla at like 14-year-olds, got, you know, chill out with a couple locals or whatever, and hit on a 50-year-old, and then still ask for a happy ending. Come on, bro. There's content, but then there's too much content. Like, you're doing too much for the content. And even when you do that content is just cringeworthy. Like, nobody wants to see that, my nigga. Like, yo, damn.
Man, I have a question.
Like, he goes around asking, like, he's really gonna go around asking people for happy endings. This nigga is sad, bro.
No, no. I don't know.
Next door? What if I offered you 500 bucks?
No, it's okay.
You have
So let's go and call the police, okay?
You said call the police?
Yeah.
Ma'am, I just wanted that.
And this is where I had to say, nigga, what the fuck are you doing, bro? You're searching for happy endings? For content? I mean, this has to be a crime. You're telling me this dude went homeless, and I know I keep saying it, but you gotta understand, I spent the first half of this video analyzing his pockets. He went homeless, and he starts looking for happy endings. Is this not a humiliation ritual? Because if you were to pop out famous after this, it makes sense. This is crazy, and I mean insane digital footprint. But day one of being homeless in New York ends with him in a sleeping bag in the middle of like a park or something, and you know he's cold because no way he's being kept warm in that. Okay, so in day two, the script got a little bit of an update and Gio was gonna go on a date. He goes to this barbershop to, you know, get lined up or whatever, but the thing is, he needs a place to stay. So he ends up asking his barber if he can spend the night.
Yo, you think, like, after, you think I could stay with you, bro, on some shit.
Thank you for not answering. I'm telling you, bro. People just want to work. People just want to work in
Ego by the
peace.
barber. Gotta be muted. I have to be muted. Am I deafened, bro? Party chat. Wrong VC. No cap. Hold on. Let me switch to party chat right quick. Let me switch to party chat. Yo, barber. Do you know, like, if I could stay with you, like, later tonight? That's chill, or no?
Oh no.
Okay, appreciate it.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. This is definitely a ritual, and I'm sure of it. This nigga deadass said, "Let me switch the party chat," and then the barber just magically hears him. You know, I'm saying this and I'm cracking on these jokes, but it's not bad content. It's actually pretty funny. The issue is, I can never do it myself. At the cost of good content, you're trading a house and your dignity. Because what do you mean you're homeless and you're asking the nigga that's cutting your hair if he got a place to stay? Not once, but twice. Because the first time you got egoed. Gio, stand up. You are going out bad. It can't get any worse, right?
Yo, excuse me, I got a question, yo. Am I muted? Gotta be muted. What about the girl that I'm meeting up with right now? Should I ask her for a foot job?
And I stand corrected. This is beyond just going out bad. Words can't even begin to describe it. But okay, Gio ends up going to the store to get this girl some cheap stickers because he's broke. But he ends up linking with her, and apparently some guys here also. And they end up going to eat. But this shit's pretty boring, so I'll just skip ahead for you all. Unemployment led Gio to a model shoot where he had to put on what I think is a knockoff Nike Tech. Like, am I tripping, or is this not just a Nike Tech but reskinned? IG brand owners, please lock in. I know it's rough out here, but don't just be selling reskin drip, okay? The final quest of day 2 was actually a comedy club where Gio ended up doing some stand-up comedy, and I'll just let you guys watch.
Having jobs nowadays is not good, bro. Real. That shit just make y'all niggas lame. You know what I'm saying? Look, listen. I can tell you got a job. Hold on, twin, don't do that. I got Balenci on. Balenci.
I think that's where I'm gonna end it because I just can't. But all the trolling and
Nah, I think I'm gonna end it there, bro. Bro, all this degeneracy. But maybe it's me. Maybe I don't understand this new wave of IRL scumbags that are doing degenerate shit to gain popularity. And also, when was the end all be all? When was the goal to be the most popular human being on earth, bro? When have we become that deprived of socializing with people? When have we become so deprived of having a talent? And if you don't have a talent, just craft something. If you can craft that, get a job. When have we as a society fallen off, dog? But to say all that, my next 2 challenge, I might have a bunch of other challenges, but listen, Gio, I hope that's his name. I got a couple challenges for you. You know what? Maybe it's me. My challenge for this guy would be, if you watching this, Gio, go to the Bronx, and have a sleepover with a crackhead. I heard they're pretty nice. Stay at the Bronx, actually. Stay at the Bronx. Go to a Dominican barbershop and say Mama Guevo. See what the hell happens. And then after that, go to some Jamaicans and just ask if you can spend a night over. Yeah, I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens to this guy. And with that being said, man, thank y'all for watching, man. Subscribe, comment, like, all that good ish. I'm not gonna keep swearing, bro. Thank y'all for watching, man. I'm gonna holler at you next time. Peace.